Hello and welcome to this Money Control conversation. We have with us Lalit Keshre, the co-founder and CEO of Groww, which is all set to hit the Lal Street. My colleague Anand also joins us in this conversation. Just to give you, some bare bones details about Groww's IPO. Now they are going to go public at a valuation of roughly 62,000 crore or 7.1 dollars. They've set a price band of 95 to 100 rupees, and their IPO size will be 6,632 crore, of which the primary portion will be 1,060 crore, and the offer for sale section will be 5,572 crore rupees. And the IPO dates are between 4th to 7th of November. Now, Groww is India's leading stockbroker in terms of active users. It's also very profitable. So if you look at their FY25 numbers, revenues came in at 4,056 crores, profits came in at 1,899 crores, and their net profit margins came in at 44.85%. But in terms of what this journey will mean, Lalit will give us more perspective. Lalit, thank you very much for joining us on Money Control. All the details of your IPO issue are out. How have the last few weeks been? I'm sure you're meeting with domestic funds, foreign funds, investors in public markets. What's the feedback been to the Groww IPO?
Oh, it has been good so far. We look at IPO as a start of the journey now. Where we are building for a very long term. So getting listed kind of adds a lot more kind of accountability and trust and so on. So we hope to kind of continue a journey from here.
Right. And in terms of the IPO size, the price, the money that you're leaving on the table for investors, are you comfortable with that? What was the advice you got from your bankers? Because this is, something that's being heavily debated among new economy issues in the last few weeks. So as far as Groww's issue is concerned, do you think the valuation is reasonable? The money that you're leaving on the table for investors, retail shareholders is reasonable?
So see, again, as I said, this is one of the events and start of the journey, and the valuation, typically what happens is buyers, sellers, bankers, they come together, and then you kind of also look at the industry peers and internet companies and so on, and then you whatever your leadership is or whatever your growth rate is, whatever your growth margins are. So one good thing about us is that we have been profitable for last 3 years. So there is you can compare on multiples basically, right? And then you give some premium for leadership growth, and then you give discount because you want to kind of create win-win kind of situation and so on. So it's a kind of process which is very different from what we have been doing so far, but I think we are good.
You think you're good? Okay. No, in fact, I was going to come to the multiples question, because I think Groww's would be 33.8 times PE for FY25 compared to, I think, Angel One, which will be 29.1, which I think is what people are comparing. So again, this would be based on Groww's pace of growth, market leadership in the segment, right?
Yeah. So it's very, in general, as you know, Chandra, very well, we don't kind of try to kind of compare or comment on anybody else. I think as far as Groww is concerned, we are very excited about the future and everything, and the company has so far kind of also done well, shown good resilience, and this is how we kind of continue thinking.
Okay, Anand.
Yeah. See, one of the key issues for any stockbroker this year, or actually starting from last year, has been the Sebi regulations that have been tightening. So, was there any feedback from any investors, bankers on how this will impact your IPO process, the valuation, whatever you are going with? What was the discussions with in the road shows, investor meetings, and all that?
See, Anand, we look at, again, what we know is since 2016 we started, and since then we have seen a lot of progressive regulation. I think our regulator is the most progressive across the world, and a lot of things that they got in helped us grow. I don't think Groww would have been here where, if not for those, 2016 Groww launch and direct plans were introduced in 2013. Then there was this entry load reduction, and then there was this onboarding regulations and so on, right? So everything uh, kind of helps in growing, and any kind of customer protection is also very important along with growth, because otherwise, trust in the system is very important. So all these regulations also build a lot more trust in the system. Overall, if you look, like, India is, I think we are, I think I wrote for you folks, right, one time, that how India is probably not probably India is the only country that is going to compound so fast over next many years, and capital markets are very, very core component, and capital markets will continue growing, and as Groww, we lead player in this, will continue kind of expanding and grow the market.
See, one of the issues when you go public is that there is always a pressure to go from look at quarter by quarter, right? That's also one thing that, differentiates a private market company with a public market company. So, the next quarter, when your results are out for the second quarter or third quarter, there will be some drop, at least in the top line. We can see that you had actually, despite all the headwinds, grew your net profit by 11% in the first quarter. So how does this impact your Q2 and Q3? Or
So
the rest
we,
of the quarters of this financial year? Because we have seen Angel One and Zerodha struggling. Zerodha had, for the first time, saw a drop in revenue top line for the first time in more than a decade. Same with Angel One. Zerodha is saying they will lose some 30-40% revenue in the first quarter. So you've done pretty well compared to others, but there's still some headwinds for you as well.
So see, I think you have seen you have seen our numbers as well. So the way we look at it is Q on Q and so on. Like, I think this is more execution, but our long-term vision, our kind of goals, I think nothing changes there. So our strategies remain the same, namely, keep building for the customers, keep investing in the technology that provides superior customer experience, also kind of from business perspective, better operating leverage, continue building brand, Groww is today household brand for millions of people across. We cover 98% of the pin codes now, more than 80% beyond 6 cities. So we continue doing that, and and then of course you look at about Q and Q. Within the company, we look at month on month. So it's, I think we are not going to. So the point I'm trying to make it is, we are not going to change the way we work based on, we'll still be long term, we will still kind of be very customer focused, and product velocity will continue manage based on how we have been doing.
Right. Taking Anand's question forward, Lalit, as he said, while most brokers saw a big fall in revenue during the June quarter, you saw only a 10% fall in sales while your profits grew. So give us a sense of how you are diversifying the revenue mix and how fast you can do that. Because you're very bullish on the wealth management segment. You acquired Wisdom recently. You're investing behind MTF. You're investing behind tech. So give us a sense of how you plan to diversify revenue stream, and will that velocity make up for the weakness in the core broking business?
So Chandra, since day one, we have aspired to become like a multi-product company. So multi-product, direct to customer, and tech, build on tech backbone, right? These were and of course, simple and transparent for customers and so on. So because of this multi-product nature, our revenues will continue getting more and more diversified. And in Q1 to Q1 also, there was some flavor there, small flavor there. The kind of revenues kind of shown a lot more resilience. That PAT increase, by the way, it's not so PAT also kind of operating PAT also dropped down, but lot kind of lesser than the industry and so on. So yeah.
Got it. One of your rivals in the last week has spoken about, entering US stocks through Give City, offering FD as a product. Are those some things that you will consider? You were offering US stocks before, something I think that you stopped in early 2024. Is that something that you will revisit?
So see, every 6 months we revisit our product roadmap. What customers want. So our product is primarily built on based on what is customer asking for, customer looking for. We have now 14 plus products on the platform right now. And if you look at the sequencing also, it's based on how, and of course there were some products that we launched and we kind of discontinued because of kind of PMF not met or something like that. We'll continue experimenting, but this is how we build. And right now, like our priorities, for example, wealth is one big priority. MTF scale up is priority. We're just launching commodities, and then there will be a lot more products that will kind of continue evaluating, continue building based on the customer demand.
Give me a yes or no answer, Lalit. US stocks, will you revisit?
Of course, I told you, like every 6 months we revisit our product roadmap, right? So
So you're
we will.
leaning towards yes or no?
No, yes, for all the products, whatever exists in the wealth, like if you have to build wealth, you want to invest in that, it will be on Groww.
Anand?
Mhm. See, you started the journey, not unlike some of the other larger companies, bank establishments and all that. You started the journey from mutual funds, SIP. How does the future roadmap look like? Are you going to be a more wealth tech platform? Are you geared more towards trading platform? Are you geared more towards catering to every wealth and where do you lean towards? And see, the identity for some of the players is traders platform. So what is your primary identity going forward?
So good. So our identity is we are the wealth platform, the investing platform of the country, where millions of people would come, affluent, aspirational, all category of customers would come. They will invest in some of the core anchor products, and then out of these customers, there are like different segments that get created. Like some of them get very affluent. So if you look at our data in DRHP, like the growth in affluent category is more than 2 times faster than our overall platform growth. Why? Because a lot of our customers who spend more time on Groww become like affluent. And then also as we became number one 2.5 years back, a lot of affluent customers started coming from other platforms on Groww, right? And hence the growth rate is like more than 2x. So that category of customers now they need wealth management because once your AUM is like significantly higher, but that's the reason, that's the primary reason why we acquired Wisdom. Then second segment of customers, they are like power traders, right? They need more and more tools. So they kind of we build a lot more power tools. So if you go on the app, you can keep going deeper and deeper, right? Today I showed the demo also, like all the power tools that are now available on Groww, and we'll continue building that. Then there's a segment that goes into like margin trade funding. There is like LAS, and so think about this. There's a platform with like millions of customers. They are investing in multiple products, and then there's a different nature of different kind of segments and different teams assigned to them who understand that customer segment really well, and we continue building for them.
So this is actually one of the points that I wanted to ask. So, even when we all talk about India being a large market and all that, there is a ceiling that you hit when you go beyond the, 5 crore customers that, everybody want to address. What you typically call as, total addressable market TAM or something. So, but you probably already reached that level of customers. So even if in the next stage, even if you gain a lot more customers, the revenue that you can get from the next set of customers, next 100 million or something, will be minimal, right? So how do you see that for the growth? Because if much of your growth in the next stages will come through the next set of new customers coming from smaller towns who have lesser propensity to spend or lesser propensity to save and invest. So how do you see the next phase of growth? Because you already had the tailwind of COVID and digital trading and all that happened over the last 5 years. So will the next 5 years be, because we see more headwinds? If you look at the market, all the players have seen big drop in active investors. You have also flagged this in the DRHP. So how do you see the next phase or the next 2-3 years?
And in 2016, 2015, 16, when we were thinking, right? How many investors were there, like, stock investors and so on. Like, if I tell you that number, it will be very hard for you to imagine 5 crore number or 50 million customers that you talked about, right? So compare, like, if India is growing, capital markets are growing, and you go towards how developed countries are, the penetration, how it is in the developed countries and so on, right? So that is going to happen. So number percentage wise, like, we are still very, very small. And then wealth also, if you see today, lot of trillions of dollars of wealth in India is in traditional assets, and as countries develop, that also moves to, like, financial assets. So you will see more and more, and you are already seeing that more and more happening. And like, it has happened in all other developed countries, and you will see that happening here as well.
Right. Lalit, if you look at the broking industry, it's also, a very fragmented industry. I think there are over 30 broking houses that have more than 1 lakh customers. So how will you sort of grow going forward? Will this involve taking away market share, creating new share? Just give us a sense of that.
Uh, uh, sorry, Chandra. Broking industries.
No, I said the industry is fragmented with over 30.
Fragmented. So,
Yeah.
so if you look at the nature of the industry, both wealth and
Hmm.
broking, they have been consolidating a lot more, because customers prefer to move to trust, like, more leaders brand.
Hmm.
So if you look at the number of customer wise, if you look at both broking and wealth management, so mutual fund, for example, right, would count in wealth and so on. So like, market share of top players continue increasing, because you generally kind of prefer leaders and so on. So I think it's more consolidating than fragmenting. You can, like, if you look at the number of players or customer distribution and so on.
Got it. And how is life going to change for you as the CEO of a listed company with, the quarter se quarter tak approach now?
I think it is more like I think, yeah, I get it. Like, quarters, you have to be accountable, and we will be accountable and so on. But I think we will always think long term. We'll always think about the customers will grow. I mean, they will be like, so that's why we will also kind of invite the kind of also kind of like, so far, if you look at our investor shareholders, also kind of aligned and so on. So I think this is the thought process, and I don't think we are going to change this thought process that we have.
Are you tensed because of all the questions that are going to come out, every quarter, press conference or analyst calls, investor calls?
No, I mean, we are always, like, told what it is, whatever what is, we will tell that. Like, if there is no gap between what is and what you want to tell, I think we are good, like, as you see me right now, like.
Got it. Lalit, in your conversation with potential investors, current investors, what are the one or two concerns they have brought up to your notice? Does it involve the regulatory side, the growth side? I mean, I just want to understand what is playing on top of mind in terms of the concerns.
So it is very, so it's, see, depends. So there are different kind of investors is what we have learned,
Hmm.
right? Like, and everybody has different kind of questions. I would not say concerns, but different kind of questions. Like, and that also helps us identify what is the kind of investor. Like, are the questions about more long term or short term, or about this or that and so on. So that it also kind of helps us understand that. But yeah, it's very varied. Like, somebody will be more kind of um, uh, more about markets, about regulations, or about so and so on and so forth. Like, I think every investor is a different. Every investor is different investor. Yeah.
And
Do you
what is
have
this?
a
Sorry, yeah, and go on.
no, so I was just on the same lines. Do you have a definite set of ideas as to how addressing some of the key challenges that short-term investors would want, meanwhile also keeping ahead of the growth curve by being innovative? Because this is one of the challenges that a lot of companies have. A lot
I
of
told
companies
you.
have
I told you.
gone.
No, I told you I'm not going to make any trade off. Grow is long
Okay.
term. customer focused. Like, this is our philosophy, and I'm telling openly here as well. So, it's very, very simple. Like, we will be what we are, is what I'm trying to say.
Got it. Lalit, what does this milestone mean for you, Harsh, Ishan, and Neeraj as founders of this startup?
I think it's a milestone. I think Groww becomes a lot more accountable, more trust, because now, and also it's happiness because now your customers also get to be your shareholders. So now our boss are the real customers. Like, our customers were anyways our boss, but now I think from the shareholder perspective also, they become our boss. We build for them. So like, it becomes same for us now. And growth, of course, like, being listed, of course, now you are available everywhere else as well. So I think also it's a start of a journey for us.
Have you spoken to any of your friends who've taken their startups public? Any tips that any of them shared?
Yeah, I mean, keep talking to everybody. I think everybody has different experience. I think we will also have a very different, unique experience. So we are looking forward to that.
But are you more comfortable than others, because Groww is actually one of the most profitable startups, and in terms of margin as well as in absolute numbers, is far ahead of any other startup. So not typically what the Indian public market assumed a technology startup would be. So does that make you feel proud, or does that make you feel easy when you enter these discussions with investors? How does that make you feel?
Current situation never makes you easy or tough. It's the expectation that makes everything easy or tough, and we continue to have very high expectation irrespective of whatever current situation is. So I don't think like anything is easy in founders' lives, is what I feel.
Okay.
Overall, are you feeling positive about the listing, Lalit?
Yeah, I am.
The timing of the listing?
So all everybody who comes on Groww platform, we say time in the market is more important than timing the market. Starting early is important. So we like, I mean, if you're listed, then how does it matter? Like, time, you are always in the market, right?
Okay.
Great. On that note, Lalit, thank you very much for joining us, and here's wishing you the best, and look forward to Grow's graduation from Startup Street to Dalal Street. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Anand. Thank you.
Thanks. Here's wishing
Thank
you
you,
the
Lal.
best.
Thank you. All the best.